When you hit burnout, it really feels like the end of the road, doesn't it? But today we're going to look at it a little differently. What if it's not an end point, but actually the start of a journey? A journey back to energy and back to yourself. I mean, does that question just hit you right where you are? That feeling like your personal battery is not just low, it's completely dead, and there is no charger anywhere in sight. If you're nodding along right now, I really need you to hear this next part. First things first, you are so not alone in this. This is not some kind of personal failure. It is not a sign of weakness or that you just can't hack it. Honestly, it's pretty much the opposite of that. What it really is a signal. A huge flashing red light from your body and mind basically screaming, hey, something's gotta change. So today, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna listen to that signal and start mapping out the road back. All right, section 1. Let's decode what's actually going on here. Because, you can't fix a problem if you don't truly understand it. This first step is probably the most important one. So let's get specific. What is burnout, really? Because it is way, way more than just feeling tired after a long week. The official definition talks about this state of, total exhaustion from stress that just goes on and on. And it's not just one thing, it's marked by 3 core symptoms. And listen, it's this combo that's the real kicker. It's not just one of them. It's all 3 hitting at once. You've got that bone-deep exhaustion where you feel completely depleted. Then there's that cynicism, that feeling of being totally disconnected from your job, from your purpose. And to top it all off, you start doubting you're even good at what you do. It's that perfect storm that just paralyzes you. Another thing to get straight is that burnout doesn't just show up one day out of the blue. Nope. It's a slow burn, kind of like the seasons changing. You might start out in this high-energy summer phase, totally passionate. Then autumn sets in, stress starts to build, your energy dips. And if you don't catch it, boom, you're in the deep freeze of a burnout winter. Seeing it this way can help you figure out exactly where you are on that timeline. So all these things you're feeling, please hear me on this. They are not your fault. A great way to think about them is like the dashboard lights in your car. That constant fatigue, that's your body pulling the emergency brake. That complete loss of motivation, that's your brain just yelling that the fuel tank is empty. These aren't character flaws. They are crucial data points telling you that something, somewhere, has to change. Okay, so now we know what the signals look like. But hang on. Before we jump into the get more sleep and take a walk stuff, we have to talk about something a little uncomfortable. It's a hard truth, but it is absolutely the key to real long-term recovery. Yeah, this quote right here. Just let it sit with you for a second. Healing begins by changing the situation that made you sick. This is it. This is the whole ballgame. Real healing, the kind that actually lasts, isn't about you. It's about changing the environment that broke you down. Look, things like yoga and meditation are great. They really are. But they're basically just band-aids if the source of the wound is still there. If you go back to the exact same high-stress, boundaryless situation day after day, that band-aid's not going to hold. Now, this doesn't automatically mean quit your job, but it does mean we have to get serious about addressing what's actually causing the stress. And this is why it's so important to understand the difference between stress and burnout. Think of it like this. Stress is drowning. You feel like you're being pulled under by way too many responsibilities. You're fighting, you're struggling. It's a state of too much. But burnout is a desert. You're completely dried up. The well is empty, the fight is over. It's a state of not enough. Okay, so enough of the heavy stuff, enough of the theory, we get it. Now, what do we do about it? How do we actually start climbing out of that hole? Let's get practical. Let's lay out a clear step-by-step plan. The plan is simple, just 3 steps. Recognize, reverse, and regain. First, you have to recognize and acknowledge what's happening without judging yourself for it. Then you actively start to reverse the damage. And finally, you build back your strength, your resilience, so this doesn't happen again. See? Recognize, reverse, regain. Makes the whole thing feel a lot more doable, right? So, step 2, reverse, starts from the inside out. These are the non-negotiables. Think about sleep. It's literally your brain's charger. Movement, even just a 10-minute walk, can work wonders. What you eat is your actual fuel. And relaxation, just taking a few deep breaths tells your entire nervous system, hey, you're safe. You have to start with these basics. They are the foundation for everything else.
And then we've got to deal with the outside stuff. This goes right back to that uncomfortable truth we talked about. You have to seek support. You are not meant to do this alone. And you have to learn to say no. Seriously, every time you say no to an unreasonable demand, you're saying yes to your own health. And take real breaks. I mean, completely disconnected. That's how you start to take back a little bit of control.
All right, so we have a plan to get out of the hole, but what about not falling back in? That's what step 3, regain, is all about. How do we build lasting resilience so this doesn't just become a repeating cycle?
Well, the secret here is a really important shift in how you think about it. It's not just about stopping all the things that drain you. It's about adding the things that fill you up, the things that actually fuel you. That's the real game changer. That's where you build real, sustainable energy and strength.
So how do you do that? How do you refill your tank? Well, you can try to find the small parts of your job that actually give you a spark of energy. Or start a hobby that has zero to do with getting ahead, just for fun, like something creative. And invest your time in people who make you feel good. And, sometimes you have to be brutally honest. If your environment is fundamentally unhealthy, the most resilient thing you can do might just be to leave it. And that brings us right here, to the most crucial part of this whole thing. Look, none of this matters if it just stays as information in your head. The recovery journey doesn't start someday. It starts right now, with one tiny step.
So, I want to leave you with this one question. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. It can be super small. Maybe it's just deciding to take a 10-minute walk later. Maybe it's planning to say no to just one thing you don't have the capacity for. Or maybe it's picking up the phone to a friend. Just one thing. What is the one small, actually doable step you're going to take today?